Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first session of Parent and Family
cutting edge simulation labs which simulate hospital settings. We have a virtual reality setup, which is amazing, where you can use virtual reality technology, cutting edge technology, to really look at MRI scans, um, all kinds of scans from the human body, and really have students understand diseases, how diseases progress. So it really is an amazing building, and we it isn't just nursing; it's other programs too, which is going to allow to connect to each other from different disciplines. And that's one of the strengths that we have also at St. John's, that students from different disciplines get together and learn from each other, both from a cultural standpoint, to what I'm interested in, to what major I do, and sometimes in the same core curriculum classes. So we're really excited about New Health Sciences Building.
Thank you. So, Father, you spend a great deal of time meeting with our alumni. I know that's a big part of your job as president. Can you talk about our alumni's involvement in helping our students post-graduation?
Yeah, we have over 200,000 alumni, and they're mainly located in New York and the tri-state area. And they really want to help St. John's students. I was talking with an alum today who was telling me about his experience at St. John's, probably in the 80s, and how he went to school full time. He worked full time and paid his way through St. John's, and he's interested in hiring St. John's people. He's a CEO of an insurance firm. There's an enormous amount of pride in our alumni, and they really want to help St. John's students. So I think the networking that St. John's has in the New York metropolitan area is unique to New York, because I don't think any other big school in New York has as many people who actually stay in New York as St. John's. And I can't quote that as a fact, but it's my intuition. And I think it's a real plus for our students that there are so many alums in this area who really want to help them out. Internships, jobs, mentoring, the whole gamut of services. There's a pride that St. John's alums have that I think is really a big asset for our university.
Thank you. So, Simon, you recently co-taught a class with one of our high school partners. And obviously, establishing partnerships with high schools is something very much close to our heart. But you went to one of our high schools and you actually co-taught in an AP bio class. Can you talk a little bit about why you did that and what you spoke about?
Yeah, so first of all, it was amazing. And I shouldn't say this in front of the president, but I didn't want to come back. I wanted to stay in the classroom at high school. It was absolutely amazing. And the reason why we are doing this with high schools is to really expose high school students to what it's like being at college and university, and sort of giving a different flavor to the classroom, bringing some research that we do at St. John's into the classroom, and not necessarily selling St. John's, but selling the concept of going from high school to college. And I team taught in an AP bio class, and I spoke about our research on Parkinson's disease, and spoke about how genetic information from people are becoming more available, who owned that data, complex diseases. It was amazing. It was 85 minutes, and it felt like it was 2 minutes. It was absolutely fantastic, and I'm going back.
That's great. And Father, you also are teaching a class this semester on campus. With all of your responsibilities, you chose to be in a classroom. Can you talk about why and what that has been like for you?
Yeah, so I teach in the fall, and one of the requirements of our core curriculum is that all of our students will study ethics of some kind, learning how to make decisions in life about what is good and what is right, or as I tell my students, what does it mean to live a good life? That's the most basic question that every human being has to ask him or herself or their self is, what would a good life look like? And for me, as the president, I got a billion other things to do, but I'll be perfectly frank and say it's therapeutic for me, because I deal with a lot of bureaucratic and administrative issues, and I've been a teacher and a priest on Catholic campuses since I've been ordained, and I miss the contact with the students, and I want to make sure my brain hasn't fried completely from being an administrator. So I look forward to teaching in the fall, and I've been reading books on the side right now, trying to figure out. I never want to teach the course the same way every time I teach it, so I need a new book. So in my spare time, I plow through books trying to figure out, okay, what's my new book? And I'm really excited about doing that. And I'm able to do it basically because we do have one slot that's like you can teach the whole class for a week in one time slot. And I can do that. And I'm looking forward to it. And when I do it, I always walk home going, wow, this is like the best part of my day and my week. But when I look at my calendar, I go, why am I doing this? But I just keep doing it. So it's great.
That's great. Thank you. Dr. Moeller, can you talk about how being in New York gives our students a competitive advantage?
Absolutely. Father Shanley spoke about this also. Number one, the diversity that we have in New York, being exposed to different cultures, different ways of thinking. Um, I also think it is a really good way for students to be exposed to various industries, and through the alumni networks that we have and our partnerships that we have. And it's really sort of a springboard to whatever you want to imagine comes next after you leave St. John's and go on and live a fulfilled life aligned with your career. And New York is a big place. Clearly, I'm not from New York. New York is twice the size of the country where I'm from, Norway. Um, so we make sure that our campus is safe. We make sure that our campus is beautiful. We make sure that it feels like a smaller campus, although it is a large university. And I think we do a really good job of that. So I think students get best of both worlds, a really intimate campus in a way, but in a really, really large metropolitan area.
Can I follow up with you regarding student and faculty engagement? Right? We always talk about the importance of our students having access to faculty, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's outside of a classroom. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of students really being engaged with faculty right from the beginning of their studies throughout their experience at St. John's?
No, absolutely. The engagement and the relationships that faculty and students create and maintain and build upon during their time at St. John's is absolutely crucial. Sometimes students are scared of talking to faculty. I certainly was when I was a student. But faculty at St. John's, and I can say this because I'm actually right on this one. I'm not right on many things, but I worked at many universities in different countries, and I have never experienced faculty that care so much about every student that they teach. Every student matters, not the cohort of students, but every single student. So having that engagement with faculty, seeking out faculty when there are challenges in the classroom or maybe in other courses, and really having that rich discussion. Something that we do well at St. John's is involve students in research. So just in my lab, I've had graduate students, undergraduate students, even high school students. to put some of the abstract concepts in the classroom into a real setting. And faculty love doing that because number one, it makes us feel a bit younger. And number two, it really enriches the education experience for this. I would encourage all the parents to encourage your children or your young adults to engage with the faculty whenever they have a chance. And we're not dangerous, I can assure you.
Thank you. So, Father, you mentioned our new basketball coach and the excitement that is before us. Can you talk about what it feels like to be at Madison Square Garden when the whole building is wearing red and St. John's is playing really well? What does that feel like for you?
Well, I've only experienced that a few times, to be honest. But I'm hoping that with the new coach, that's going to become a regular experience. And I mean, I think it's all about, the charm of St. John's is that, look, we live in Queens, but we also, our major face is Manhattan, and it's the Garden. And we have a profile that we haven't had in a long time, I don't think, with Rick Pitino as the head coach. And the the kind of benefits that we get from having the MSG, like look at the Knicks. I mean, look, I'm from Rhode Island. I'm a Celtics fan. I'm trying to become a better New Yorker, and I'm actually rooting for the Knicks right now. And I would love to see the Celtics beat the Knicks, to get into the whole thing. But right now, I want the Knicks to be good because you look at the Garden and it's like it's a celebrity fest. I'm tired of seeing Aaron Rodgers in the front row, and it's like we have this capacity at St. John's, this cultural, you know, the exposure that we have, and getting Rick Pitino back in the Garden positions us to become a school with a national reputation. And my feeling about athletics is that if we can get people into St. John's because of athletics, what we're going to then show them is we're actually even better academically than we are athletically. So the athletics is a porch. Rick's going to invite a lot of people in. I'm looking forward to going to the Garden a lot more next year, and maybe Spike Lee will actually root for us next year. We'll see.
Let's hope. Thank you for that, though. So, Simon, there's a lot happening in the business school right now. We just announced the coming of a new dean. We're talking about entrepreneurship. Can you talk a little bit about the business school?
Absolutely. The business school is highly ranked. It's in a beautiful building. It has excellent faculty. I say excellent because many of them have come from industry and they bring that industry expertise with them into the classroom. We have the Bloomberg terminal, so that's real time stuff. And it really is just that want to develop themselves into business leaders, into business analytics leaders, into management leaders, into management or marketing. So it has the whole package. And every time you walk into the business building, you feel it's like almost like you're in a business. Because it's hard to explain unless you walk in, and I hope you do walk in one day. But it really is a superb area on campus. And with the new dean coming in, starting on the 1st of June, the business school will go to the next level very quickly.
So, Father, I'm sure you can imagine what it's like for parents to be sending their children off to college. What advice would you have for parents as they approach this milestone with their children?
Yeah, I mean, one of the wonderful things about St. John's is that we have so many first generation students with parents that have not had to negotiate this kind of passage before. And my best advice to you is to ask a lot of questions because we have people that really want to help you. We have incredible people at St. John's that know how to work with parents. Karen here is one of them, and it can be daunting and a little bit frightening sometimes when you're dealing with it for the first time. And we want to help you. We want to answer your questions. We want to direct you where you need to go. Our biggest commitment, and it's probably the biggest thing I've done in the last year, is to create a vice president for student success. And success is graduation. We want our students to be successful at St. John's. And we're doing tons of data analysis and hiring people. It's like, you know, I want St. John, my goal, which will never happen, would be 100% of the people that come to St. John's graduate in 4 years. And that will not happen probably because that no school does that. But that's my goal, is to get your sons and daughters through St. John's, to get them graduated, to get them launched in the world with a moral compass, with some sense of the good, the true, the beautiful. And if we can push them out into the world and have given them a really good core education, good education in whatever they choose to do, that's our goal. And we're pretty restless about it. We've hired a ton of people in that area, and we recognize that this is a family thing. It's not just one kid. It's a kid coming from a family who needs their family behind them, and we need to know how we can help you to help your sons and daughters to be successful at St. John's. So, this is a 4-year process in the ideal world where we work with you and your son or daughter, and we get them through, we launch them into the world, and that's our goal. And we can't be successful without your feedback. So please give us your feedback.
Thanks, Father. One of the things that we are always proud of is thinking for the future. But we also have so much to be proud of in terms of our commitment to service, which has been a part of who we are from the very, very beginning. Simon, could you talk a little bit about our commitment to service and just why it's so important that we are teaching our students and involving them in giving back in big ways?
No, absolutely. And I'm just going to start off from a personal perspective. I can't imagine working in the United States of America than St. John's. And it comes back to our mission. Our responsibility is to serve and help others, and particularly individuals and people that haven't got have on this call. And we instill that in our students to pay it forward and to reach out. And we have service activities that are formal service activities on campus, like academic service learning. But we also have volunteers, faculty volunteers, students volunteer together with administrators and staff. It could be from soup kitchens to midnight runs. And the feedback we get from students once they launch themselves into a service activity and see the impact they have is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Because you realize once you do a service activity with somebody else, there is no better gift for yourself. And just shaping our students into human beings that are so well-rounded and are reflective and don't take things for granted and want to help others. That puts our students in a whole different light when they go out and seek a job. And that, I think, distinguishes us from most universities, probably on the planet, to my mind.
Yeah, something we've always been very proud of. Can you talk a little bit about the benefits of being in the honors program? Small class sizes, interaction outside of the classroom, just some of the benefits.
So absolutely. So we have a universities honors program that we are making even better as we're moving forward. And the business school also has their own honors program that is separate from the university's honors program. And the honors program, like many honors programs at universities, are really based on cohort models, where students from different disciplines get together and work through their career at St. John's in a cohort model, so they feel this belonging. And there's activities, extracurricular activities, there are excursions, there are smaller class sizes. Um, it's really something that students should consider, um, and it enriches the education experience for sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, Father, I asked you about some advice for parents. I have a different kind of a question. What advice would you give to young adults who want to take up the game of golf as a hobby?
Um, I think golf is a social climber kind of exercise, a connector sort of a thing. And um, I played golf when I was a kid. I didn't play for like 15 years when I was early a priest. And then when I became president of Providence College, I realized I needed to be decent so that I could not embarrass myself. And I got okay. And, I'm down here and my game is in decline because I'm getting older, but it's a way of connecting with people. And so I'm encouraging a lot of folks here who work at St. John's, particularly younger people and women and people of colors, like, you got to learn how to play golf because it's a way of connecting with people. And um, we don't have yet like lessons here, but we've got a great golf team. One of our male golfers was the winner of the Big East tournament, playing in the NCAA tournament. So there's plenty of people here that can learn how to play. And Nancy, I've kind of pushed you a little bit. You say you play, but you don't really try all that hard. You're a former basketball player. You've got the goods. It's time for you to get serious about this.
All right, okay, I'll get back out there. I'll take some lessons. I'll be out there soon. Thank you. So, Simon, I love to see you every day, but I have become especially happy to see you on Monday mornings because of what you're now doing on Sundays. So, can you talk a little bit about your interest and decision to fly planes on Sunday and who you're doing that with?
Yes. So um, I always thought flying and being up in a tiny little Cessna plane with one engine is probably not a good idea. But my son, who's Thomas, he wanted to be a commercial airline pilot since he was 2 years old. We did the whole rigmarole at home with this, turning on the washing machine, pretending it was an engine, and sitting on a chair and all those things. And then he suddenly decided that he wanted to take flight lessons. So I figured, well, if I'm going to send my son up, I better sit in the back seat because it can't be that bad. And it wasn't exactly the most comfortable ride, and it was windy. But now it really is fun. So he's taking his private pilot license. So we go out every Sunday and sometimes Saturdays, and he's up in the air flying. I'm in the back seat praying and looking out the window and filming stuff. And then I'm starting to do the same thing. And the reason I'm excited about it, Nancy, is that I can see my son has had a dream for a long time, and I can be there for him, and I can actually show an interest in what he's doing. And I think that comes back to one of the earlier points from Father Shanley: ask questions and be involved in your son's or daughter's education. I think that's crucial because then it becomes a family thing. So I'm going again tomorrow, no, Saturday morning at 6 a.m. I'm going on Sunday afternoon.
All right, I will continue to be very happy to see you on Monday mornings then. So there are some comments in the chat about registering for classes and advice on what kinds of classes to take. And so our Center for Student Success has a team of advisors that work with students, and at any time, your child, your family member can reach out to the Center for Student Success. You can send an email to Karen Simons, who I know is going to put information into the chat about how to contact her, but our advisors are here to answer any questions that any of you have throughout this process. One of the things that I will point out is all of these services that are available to help not only the parents, but our students during this transition. We want them to come to St. John's confident, knowing where to go for help when they need it. And we want you to be confident knowing that we all are here to help. And it really is very much a partnership. So I think I want to end with the same question for Father and for Dr. Moeller. Just why St. John's? Why now for our parents and students who are considering us? Father, I'll start with you.
Okay. Um, why St. John's? Why now? And I would say that the answer to that question is that we are an incredibly caring community in a time when higher ed is in a lot of turmoil, flux, and a lot of competition. I think for me, the thing that strikes me, and I had a couple of conversations today with people about, what is it about St. John's that makes you stay? And everybody says it's the students and it's the mission. The Vincentians founded this place in 1870, and they've done an incredible amount of work to instill the mission here. And it's been talked about a little bit tonight, of service, that education is, yes, you want people to have careers, but more importantly than making money is having meaning in your life. And part of the meaning of every human being's life ought to be serving other people. And I think we teach our students how to be successful and how to be meaningful and how to serve other people. And I think they learn that through the interactions that they have with our faculty and our administration and our staff. So the mission of St. John's is the differentiator. There are other schools that do a lot of what we do, but I don't think anybody does it as mission driven. And I include our faculty and our administration, everybody that works at St. John's. I was talking to somebody today who said, I could make more money at another school, but I really want to stay here because I believe in the mission. And it's the mission is what makes St. John's why you and your child should feel really good about coming to St. John's.
Thank you. Dr. Moeller, why St. John's? Why now?
It's always hard to speak after Father Shanley speaks because he does it so well. But I'm going to come at it from an academic side. Our faculty are simply amazing, and I'm a faculty member myself. And I want to echo what Father Shanley said. Faculty stay here and love coming to work every day because of our students. They have for the students and their drive to make students successful, not just in the classroom, but as human beings, the help that they extend to students when they need help, and also our administrators and staff too. I mean, everyone around the same focal point, and that's your sons and daughters. That's why we're here. And when we had Accepted Students Day, and I walked around, and many of us walked around and saw excitement And you can see everyone is on the same page. The public safety officers greeting students and families and pointing them in the right direction. The list continues. So I think that is really the strength of St. John's, the caring nature that we have for students, because we have a responsibility, a huge responsibility. The minute a student decides to come to St. John's, we have to ensure they're successful, and we take that very, very seriously. So from my own personal experience at St. John's, I've been there now 12 years, never been in a place so long in my life, and I don't want to leave. I just love going to work every morning, seeing the students, faculty, staff, and administrators, the whole package. It's an amazing place. So I can continue forever, but I think I'll stop there.
Well, thank you, and I certainly agree. And I would just say, I think what makes St. John's incredibly special, in addition to the academics and the commitment that we have to our students, is just when you join the St. John's family, you're part of that family forever. And we do care about each other in a very, very unique way. And hopefully this session gives you a little insight into who we are and what we do and how much we care about your children and your family. So our next session as part of this series is on May 9th at 7 p.m. That will be the session on academic success. I'll give you a little tip. If you attend 3 of these sessions, you're going to find a nice gift box come for you in the mail with St. John's swag, which we absolutely love. So I encourage you and I invite you to take part in all of these sessions. But if you have questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help you and answer any questions that you may have. So thank you all for joining tonight. Dr. Moeller, thank you. Father Shanley, thank you as well. Sam and Karen, thank you so much. And have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Over.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Throw it away.
Oh, ow, Dad.
Leave. Excuse me. How can I?
By
Thank
chance,
you.
was this meeting recorded? It is recorded?
Yes, it's being recorded.
Okay, because I got on late. Is there a way, will you send the link?
We will.
Thank you.
Andrew, how do you turn it off?
And Monica, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, please.
Okay, thank you so much. I got caught up with work, so I
No
apologize.
worries.
Thank
No
you.
worries at all.
No worries.
Bye.
If you're uncertain how to leave, there, you should see a red circle with an X in it somewhere on your screen. Maybe if you're on a phone versus computer, it may look a little differently.
Turn off.
I tried that, but it's not working.
We really want you to stay.
Hi, good night. I have a financial aid question. Will there be a session for the financial aid portion?
There is.
Mhm.
That's an excellent question. So you can do either. You can set up an appointment. We'll be happy to call you and reach out to you to have a conversation. If you would like to attend one of our Parent and Family University sessions, which speaks to paying for college, there's one coming up on the 24th. I can drop that link in the chat if that's helpful too.
Please do. Actually, I'll be there on Saturday for one of
Great.
the workshops. So is it possible to stop by the financial aid office? Will someone be there?
Not in the admissions counselors will be in and will be open in the welcome center. The financial aid office won't be here that day. However, let us know when works because we can set up a time to call you and go through the financial aid package with you as well.
Yes, because I'm concerned because my daughter is an early grad, so we didn't get the chance to apply for scholarships or all that good stuff. So, and
Absolutely.
we will be attending St. John's, so, like something to ease our financial burden,
Abs-
go about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we'll want to have a specific conversation with you as well, because it sounds like your daughter's in a unique circumstance. So I can include my contact information in the chat. And then I will put a link to the Parent Family University session, which will speak to paying for college as well.
Okay. Can I write my email address as well in the chat?
Please do. Please do. And you can send it to me directly as well, if you prefer.
Okay, all right, I got it. Okay, I got yours. Okay, got it. I'll do. I'm sorry, I'm just on.
Don't be sorry. If you want to send it to me, I'll follow up with you right now and send you an email so we can set something up.
Okay, I just put it in the chat, the Harris 449.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's great chatting with you.
Okay, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Do the same.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. All right.
Having to move people to the lobby one by one. I can't move fast enough.
Yes. Yes. That was